Hello everyone, so this is Butternut Squash Soup Aliki's way. Let me know if you like this recipe. If you make it, please like, comment, subscribe, and bon appetit, kaliorexi. Alright, so here are the ingredients for this recipe. You're going to need 1 butternut squash that you're going to roast and peel, 4 cups of homemade chicken vegetable broth or stock, and the vegetables from the stock, 1 medium or large leek, diced, 1 sweet potato, peeled and cubed, 1-inch fresh ginger, grated, extra virgin olive oil for the squash and to drizzle fresh over the soup, a tablespoon of Greek yogurt, the 5% per serving of soup, a pinch of salt, and pepper to taste. And here I'm just showing you the parchment paper that I used to roast the butternut squash. You can use whatever parchment paper you'd like, but I like to use this one because it's bleach and chlorine free. You're going to take about a tablespoon or 2 of olive oil and just smear onto the butternut squash so that you can roast it. And you're going to stick it in a preheated oven, 400 degrees, for about 45 minutes to an hour. And here I have the broth. And I'm also going to put in the vegetables that were in the broth when I made this. And I'm going to show you in another video how I do this. And the leek that I'm going to use, I chopped off the green part and I sliced it in half so that I can really wash out all this dirt that you see in the layers. You want to get all of that out. After washing the leek, I've gone ahead and chopped it up and I'm going to throw it into a Dutch oven pot. And to that, I'm going to add a pinch of salt so that the leeks can sweat. I don't like to cook with oil. You'll probably notice that from my other videos. So I like to put some salt and just help the onion or leek or whatever vegetable I'm trying to cook down. I just try to help it sweat a little bit. And I cover the pot. So I put the salt, I stir it up. The water that you see here is just from washing the leeks. I don't add anything else to it. And then I just cover it and leave it on a medium flame so that the leeks could sweat and get soft and translucent. And while that's going for about 6 to 7 minutes on a medium heat, I'm going to cut about 1 inch, maybe a little more of ginger. I'm going to peel it first, and then I like to use lemon zester to grate ginger. It's the fastest thing I found to grate ginger and the easiest thing. When I use the big grater, I find that my fingers continuously slip and I think it's a little bit dangerous. So using a lime zester or lemon zester, it just dissolves the ginger in your hands immediately, as you can see here. I mean, you could probably try to zoom in yourself, but it does a really great job. So you're gonna grate that really fine, as much as you can. And then what I like to do is just take a knife and just continue to chop that up so that it gets real fine. And then here you'll see me going back to the leeks just to see if they've become translucent. And you see a Dutch oven, I use a Stab, I really like it, holds moisture a lot more. That's why I like to use this to make the soup, because it really helps to cook down the leek. And you'll see that maybe your leeks might get stuck at the bottom a little bit, as you see my leeks have. You could just add some water to this. Again, I don't like to use oil because I feel like the food is fried when you put oil. So I'm just going to add a little bit of water, if I feel that it doesn't have enough juice in there. But the Stab does a pretty good job. But here you'll see me I add a little bit of distilled water just to get those bits from the bottom. And that's my fault. I didn't properly oil my Stab when I cleaned it last time. If you do that, then your food won't stick to the bottom. But if you're using a stainless steel pot and you're not using a Dutch oven or a cast iron, you're going to have to use a slight bit of water just to make sure that it doesn't stick. And then I'll just cover it, probably lower the flame a little bit more, a few more minutes because they're not really translucent. And while that's cooking down, I've gone ahead and peeled and cubed my sweet potato that I'm going to add to the pot. But before I do that, I'm going to add the vegetables that I had when I made the chicken slash vegetable broth. Then I'll add the potatoes and give that a stir. And once the butternut squash is done and it's cooled, I'm going to peel it and then add that to the stock pot as well, to the Dutch oven, sorry. And see, I've peeled it so it's completely whole. I just like to peel the skin off. I don't like to scoop it out because then you just get skin everywhere. I'm just going to break that down with a spatula. To that, I'm going to add my 4 cups of the chicken juice, the chicken and vegetable broth that I made. And again, I'll show you in another video how I make this. It's super easy and fast. I just make it while I'm roasting a chicken in the oven. And I increase the temperature, I bring it up to a boil, and then I'll cover it and simmer it for about 20 minutes. And then I'm going to puree it, and I like to use the stick blenders, one of those handheld blenders, to puree it instead of transferring the soup into a Vitamix or into a blender. These are awesome. I think I have a KitchenAid one. And here it is. Put a dollop of yogurt on top, some fresh oil and some pepper, and there you go. Cagliorixi. Let me know if you like this recipe.